NBT Nation. Hey, everybody. It is a random Saturday morning pop up live. I've got 3 key ways to improve your training in your organization. If you're a corporate trainer, listen to this one because I'm going to give you 3 key ways to improve how you support the rest of the organization and the training that you or your teams deliver. 3 key ways to improve the training in your organization. I'm Adam Spack, certified no boring trainer, and I've spent 10,000 hours designing, developing, and delivering corporate training so that we can derive business results, help leaders move organizations forwards through the vehicle of training, and help trainers themselves to get results, not yawn. So if you find this interesting, please hit that like button, leave me a comment down below, or subscribe. That would be great. So now we got paying the bills out of the way. We got housekeeping out of the way. Let me adjust something here. Well, my lights are a little bit on the crazy side today, so bear with me, NBT Nation. It seems like a weird picture. All right, so enough of that. So what are those 3 key ways to improve the training in your organization? Normally, I would do these 1 point at a time. I'm going to give them to you right now. Clarity, confidence, directness. Clarity, confidence, and directness. If you can improve that as a trainer, your clarity, your confidence, and your directness, you will be a better all-round trainer. Here's what I mean. We're going to break these down now, unpack each one of those: clarity, confidence, and directness. So clarity, what does that mean? When senior leaders approach you and say, hey, I want to kind of pick your brain about training, how clear are you when you interact with them? How do you overwhelm them with Kirkpatrick's this and cognitive overload that and Bloom's taxonomy? And every time they ask you a question, you give them a 39-minute college level dissertation? Newsflash, they ain't going to come talk to you anymore. They're not going to come ask your opinion. They're not going to ask for advice or counsel. They're not going to say, hey, I've got this problem. Could training maybe help me solve it? Because it's hard to get a straight answer out of you. Your response to leadership is not clear. You're not helping them ask the questions that help them to reframe the problem in their mind. You aren't asking questions that get them to tell you the information you need as a trainer to make recommendations. You aren't clearly understanding what it is they're asking of you. You're not clearly hearing and understanding the problem. That lack of clarity is going to cause that leader to not want to partner with you. Leaders want somebody who can hear what they're asking, understand what they're asking, give feedback in clear, digestible bites, and then give recommendations, and then ultimately go execute on whatever's decided, whether your recommendations are taken or not. That's what they want. And training is one piece of that puzzle. And if you're not clear, and every time they come to you, they get a face full of gobbledygook back in their face, or they get these long-winded, mealy-mouthed answers, they're not going to come to you and ask for help, which means you're going to get less opportunities to help people with training in your organization. Clarity, super duper important. Other teams come to you and ask for help. Clarity means clarity of process, clarity of procedures, clarity of expectations, clarity of execution, clarity of roles and responsibilities, clarity of what you can and can't do, clarity of saying yes or no, clarity of schedule, clarity of resources and tools available. It's hard to do in a dynamic, big, complicated organization. Trust me, I know it's really hard to do. But clarity, when those other teams come to you, do they know the role that training plays? Do they know what your team is capable of doing? Do they know what you are able to do or not do? Do they know the resources that you could either use or create for them? But it's crystal clear so that when they come and they're asking for help, you clearly can get down to the business of helping them. Clarity of execution. When they come and say, can you help us? You say yes, and then you help them. And it's done quickly and efficiently, and they don't have to wonder, and they don't. Clarity. And then certainly clarity during delivery. Now, we talk with the 6 pillars of interesting and effective training. Clarity is one of those 6 pillars. So clearly, Clear Clearly, clarity is important when it comes to delivery. If you're confusing people, if there's not a logical progression, if there's not a flow to the information that you're sharing, you're not if people are lost in the sauce while you're trying to train them, they're not going to learn, and they're not going to learn effectively. So clarity, super important for us as trainers. Confidence, switching gears here a little bit. Clarity and confidence. Do people interact with us and then walk away feeling like they understood, they know what they're supposed to do, I know what I'm supposed to do, and they're going to go do it, and it's going to happen, and it's going to be great? Do we have that level of confidence? Do we have the confidence to sit down with senior leadership and say that is not a training problem? Do we have confidence to sit down with the senior leader who's all hair on fire and I need all this training tomorrow? I'm here to help you. Help me to understand a little bit more of the issue that you're having. Do we have the confidence when they say, hey, I need 57 different topics done in this training session that's an hour long? Do you have confidence to say, no, we can't do 57 different topics in an hour, one or two, maybe? Do we have confidence in our abilities? Do we have confidence in our ability to help solve business problems? And do we communicate that confidence level to the senior leader? Or do we get super insecure, super nervous because, oh my God, we're talking to a senior leader, as if they don't put their pants on the same way we did that morning? I mean, it's natural to get insecure when the CEO comes down and says, hey, I want to talk to you about something. But do we push past our ego? Do we push past whatever self-imposed barriers we put in our mind to confidently interact with that leader as the expert with training? It's a yes or no question. If your answer is no, you have an opportunity for employment. So confidence definitely impacts our interactions with senior leadership. It impacts when we interact with other teams, when other teams come to us and ask for support. Do they walk away thinking, yep, Adam's got it. Adam understood it. Adam's going to go do it. It's going to happen. It's going to be great. Do I give them that confidence when we interact and they say, hey, could you help us with? Whether it's help us design a training, help us put together content. Hey, give us a second opinion on the content we developed. Hey, help us come figure out a cool way to make this training more interesting. Hey, do we have any technical resources that help me do blah, blah, blah? When is the next scheduled training session? How do I log into the LMS? Whether it's executing on logistical tasks, the administrative tasks, do other teams come to us and walk away going, we got it. We're going to take care of this and it's going to be great? Because if they walk away more confused than when they approached you, that's a problem. If they walk away feeling like they're not going to be able to execute on whatever we ask them for help with, that's a problem. When they come to you, if they don't walk away feeling like absolutely Adam is a rock and he is going to deliver on whatever it is we talked about, that is a problem. Confidence that when we interact and you're giving them input or advice or guidance, that it's not good guidance, it's not accurate, it's not helpful, or it's not rooted in science, it's not rooted in experience, it's not rooted in an understanding of the organization. That's a problem. So confidence when we talk to leaders, but confidence when we are interacting with other teams is super important. If they don't feel like we can deliver, or that we can help them and then deliver on that help, that's a massive problem. Confidence and clarity, super duper important. And then the last piece, we're going to take a little break for coffee here. Random Saturday morning live. Confidence, clarity, and the last piece is directness. Now, sometimes as trainers, we're super duper passionate. We are super duper full of energy. We are super duper full of knowledge. There's a lot of different reasons that I'll get into here in just a little minute. But a lot of times we're not as direct as we need to be. Senior leader approaches us. I used the example before. I'd like you to put together a training. Here's the 57 topics I'd like you to hit on, and you've got 1 hour to do it. Do we look that senior leader in the eye and very respectfully, very professionally, very polished, do we look that senior leader in the eye and say, that is not going to get you the effective outcome that you want? That's too much material in too little time. It's going to overwhelm people. Of that list of 57 topics, which one, two, maybe three are going to absolutely be the deal breakers? Those are the things that are absolutely going to move the organization forwards. From the list of 57, what are the 1 to 3 that you can't live without? I understand, are we this direct? Senior leader comes in and they want this massive, complicated training program whipped together, and they need to have it done in a day, and they're going to have 100 people. No, no, that's not going to be effective. Here's why I say that. We're going to pull 100 people offline. We're trying to unravel a skill or a skill deficit that is deeply embedded. We don't have enough data to make sure that this really is the right problem that we're addressing, let alone whether this training is the right solution. I can't put the material together quick enough to have it have an impact. I really feel like we are rushing this. Do we have the ability to be that direct? Another team comes to us and says, hey, we need help with whatever logistical concern. Absolutely. Here's the process. Here's the information I need from you. Here's what I'm going to do. And here's what I'm going to do it. Are we that direct? And sometimes as trainers, we're not. Sometimes we get lost in the sauce, our heads all over the place, where our heads are going, our heads are spinning 1,000 miles an hour, or we're just so excited that somebody's asked us for help in the first place anyway, that we're like a little puppy dog. I can't wait to help. And then we lose the plot, and we are not as direct as we need to be. Clarity, confidence, and directness. Improve in those 3 areas. You're going to have more senior leaders approaching you because you give them good advice. You ask them good questions that get them thinking. You guide them to consider the right data. You make recommendations that whether they take them or not, they can at least think about it and chew on it. And then ultimately you execute on what it is that they want you to do, and that execution makes an impact on the business. If you can get that going with your senior leaders, they're going to be blowing you up with opportunities to do more training inside the organization. When other teams come to you, if they consistently walk away feeling like they were lost in the sauce, there's no way they can help us. They're so confused. There's so little confidence. They really don't know. Like, you're just a mess. Those other teams are not going to approach you. I mean, that's not a big shock, right? But if every time another department comes to you, you're polished, you're professional, you're direct, you're to the point, you're friendly, you've got a process, you execute, it's crisp, it's clear, and they walk away feeling like, we don't got to worry about that. They're going to take care of it. And that sounds really cool. And then you're giving them status updates. You're giving them a view into the material that as you develop it, you're interfacing and giving information flow back. They are going to continue to come look for help from you. The frontline users, the better you are and the more clear, confident, and direct you are with the trainings, whether it's in instructor-led, e-learning, a micro-learning, a stand-up workshop, or a talk, pre-shift huddle talk, a podcast episode, doesn't matter. The more clear, confident, and direct you are, the better. And more of the frontline users are going to say, hey, Adam can help me out here. Adam's got the answer. And if he doesn't know the answer, he'll find an answer. And I know he's a straight shooter. He's going to give me something I can work with. And if he absolutely doesn't know, he'll tell me. And if it's not a training problem, he's going to tell me that too. So confidence, clarity, and directness, super important, whether it's interfacing with leadership, interfacing with other departments, whether it's designing training sessions, developing training sessions, delivering training sessions, working with participants, all up and down the line. Be confident, be clear, and be direct. Now, why do we not do that sometimes? I'm just going to touch on this briefly. So, hey, listen, I struggle in a lot of those areas myself, right? I use 1,000 words when I probably could use 10. Uh, I'm very passionate, very energetic. I get an idea and just, I over explain things. So, in an effort to really make sure everybody understands, sometimes I over explain things. And the second, third, or fifth explanation contradicts what I said in one of the previous installments. That's no good. Get another slip of coffee here. Sometimes there's insecurity in the organization. Sometimes in some organizations, training is really not very valued. It's not really looked at as an important part of developing the team and team retention. It's not a strategic asset. Because of that, we as trainers, we finally get the tap on the shoulder. It's like, put me in, coach. And a senior leader says, hey, I want to talk to you about training. We're just like, okay. And we're just so overly enthusiastic that we lose, like, we're not polished. We're not professional. We're not calm. We're not actively listening. We're none of that. Sometimes we have to say no to people, whether it be we can't add somebody to a training session the last minute. We can't develop this complicated training in 2 seconds. Our workload is full. This doesn't rise to the level of strategic significance, whatever. We got to say no. And sometimes as trainers, we don't like to say no. We're helpers by nature, generally speaking. We want to help people. So saying no can be hard. Or if we're already insecure that we're not going to be used very much in the organization, then we do get an opportunity to help, but it's not a good opportunity. Sometimes we'll say yes just because it's the only opportunity we have. That's no good. Um, there's a lot of reasons. The dynamic nature sometimes of organizations means that you are jumping from uh, you're jumping from headspace to headspace to headspace. In other words, you meet with a senior leader at 9 a.m., you meet with a frontline manager at 10 a.m., you meet with a planning committee at 11 a.m., you're building content at 1, you're delivering some material. I mean, you're always jumping back and forth between all these different roles, and that can be hard. And to get out of teacher mode, I struggle with that. Sometimes I'll get in a meeting where it's just status updates, logistical planning, and just kind of talking through what's needed, one of those scenarios. But I go into teacher mode. I'm trying to teach the other managers what good training is all about. And they're not in the, it's not the time or place to do that. What they need to know is the hotel room booked? Is the meeting room booked? Do we got lunch? Yes, no, maybe. That's what they want to know, but I go into teacher mode. So there's lots of different ways we get off track with clarity, confidence, and directness. Great book, Radical Candor. Really, really helpful framework. That's not my stuff by any stretch, but if you Google Radical Candor, Kim Scott, lots of great resources there. That approach has really helped me. Say what you mean what you say, and speak directly because you give a darn. Speak directly because you care. Speak directly even when it hurts because you give a damn about the other person or you give a damn about the organization. You want what's best for both. Radical Candor, super duper great book, great resource there. Confidence. There's lots of self-help books for confidence. If you struggle with insecurity, with confidence, I encourage you, do some self-help work, do some emotional intelligence work, recognize what your triggers are or what kind of makes you feel insecure so you can recognize it and push past it, push past those self-limiting beliefs. You are an expert in how training can help people to perform better in their job role and help the organization move forwards by making the customers happier. You can help people be safe. You can help them get the work done more quickly. You can help the work be done more accurately. You can do a whole bunch of great stuff to help the team, help the company, and help the customers. And you know how to make that happen. Own that. Lean into it. You are an expert in how learning can be done in an effective way. Why not be confident about that? And if you struggle with confidence, and trust me, we all do. That's a opportunity for growth for me that I always need to stay aware of myself. Do a little bit of self-help work with confidence. When it comes to clarity, there's a thousand great resources out there. Nasheen Chen, great resource. She does effective leadership communications, but it affects communication across the board. Uh, you you really lean into that. Google, how can I say more with less? Google into active listening. I mean, there's a thousand different resources there. So, a few little resources there, a few reasons why we sometimes stray off the path of being clear, being confident, and being direct. Improve those three key areas. You're going to have more leaders asking you. They're going to bring you to the table more often as a partner that can help solve problems. Do that more with the other teams that you support, and you're going to get more requests. You're going to get more people saying, hey, can I pick your brain? Hey, do you have anything on this? And then certainly when you're actually doing the training thing, that's going to help you get more results and less yawns. Clarity, confidence, and directness. Kind of an extemporaneous NBT live this morning. Hopefully you found this interesting and effective. If you did, give it a thumbs up, leave me a comment down below, and be sure to subscribe to the channel. If you want more resources, visit noboringtraining.com, noboringtraining.com, where we have free resources, more services, more products. You have links to video channels. You can find all the old episodes of NBT Live right there. You can find where to sign up for NBT Nation, noboringtraining.com. Thanks, everybody. Remember, clarity, confidence, and directness.